All right, let's just jump right in. Every single business out there, I don't care if it's a tiny startup or a massive global company, they all have the same basic problem to solve. Where does all their digital stuff live? I'm talking about their data, their applications, the very soul of their operation. And picking the right home for it all, that's a huge, huge deal.
And that big decision, it pretty much always comes down to this classic dilemma. Do you want absolute total control over your digital house, or do you want the ultimate flexibility to grow and pivot on a dime? For the longest time, it really felt like you couldn't have both. You had to choose.
So to really get this, let's break it down into the two main choices. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like figuring out where to live. Are you going to buy and own your own house, or are you going to rent an apartment?
Okay, so first up, we've got the private cloud. This is the owning your own house option. It's an IT environment that is used exclusively by your organization and nobody else. You own it, you control it, you set all the rules. This is fantastic for businesses that have really strict security or compliance needs because, well, you have maximum control over everything. The trade-off? Just like owning a house, it's usually more expensive up front and you're responsible for all the upkeep.
Then, on the other side of the street, you've got the public cloud. This is like renting an apartment in a gigantic, really well-managed building. A third-party provider, think Microsoft Azure, they own and maintain everything. You just pay for the space and the utilities you actually use. And the advantages here are massive. It's super cost-effective, and the scalability is just incredible. Need another room? Boom, you've got it. It's really that simple.
And this right here, this is the heart of the matter. Private cloud is all about having that maximum control. Public cloud is all about getting maximum scalability. It's that fundamental choice we started with, control or flexibility. But what if you didn't have to choose, right? What if you could actually get the best of both worlds? And that brings us to the hybrid model, which is all about combining that private control with all that public flexibility.
A hybrid cloud is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It takes your private cloud and your public cloud and builds a bridge between them, letting them work together as one interconnected system. It's kind of like owning your house, but having a massive, flexible hotel right next door that you can use anytime you have extra guests. So why would you do this? Well, the perks are pretty amazing. Let's say your website suddenly gets a huge spike in traffic. Instead of your private servers just falling over, you can instantly burst into the public cloud to get all the extra power you need. You get to keep your supercritical, sensitive data locked down safe in your private house while using the public hotel for everything else. This gives you this incredible flexibility without ever having to compromise on your security. Okay, so let's put it all together in one place. You can really see the trade-offs now. Private gives you high control, but scalability is tough. Public is the total opposite. And hybrid, well, it's trying to hit that perfect sweet spot right in the middle, giving you that high scalability while you still get to keep a solid level of control. It's really about getting the best of both. But hold on, because the story doesn't stop there. Just when you think we've got it all sorted out with these three models, the real world throws a curveball and adds a whole new layer of complexity. We're now moving way beyond the idea of just having a single cloud. Because here's the reality for most big companies today. It's just not about choosing one of these models. Nope, they're using a little bit of everything, all at the same time.
And that leads us to something called a multi-cloud strategy. This is where a company uses services from multiple public cloud providers simultaneously. Now, why on earth would they do that? Well, maybe they want to avoid being locked into just one company. Or maybe one provider has an amazing AI tool, but another one has a way better database service. So companies just pick and choose the best tools for the job from each one, creating this really complex, custom-built digital world. So naturally, this creates a brand new problem. I mean, if your digital stuff is spread out across your own private house, an apartment with Azure, and maybe another apartment from a totally different provider, how in the world do you manage that sprawling estate without losing your mind? And that is where modern tools come into play. The whole goal is to find what this quote is talking about, a suite of technologies designed to simplify the management of your cloud ecosystem. Basically, we need one single dashboard, one control panel for our entire digital world. A really big player in this space is a technology called Azure Arc. And what it does is pretty cool. It's designed to give you that single pane of glass, one control panel to see and manage everything. We're talking your own private data center, the public Azure cloud, and even other public clouds from different companies.
It's all about bringing some order to that multi-cloud chaos. Let me give you a really practical example of how this can work. So, a lot of companies already have a private cloud that they built using something called VMware. With a tool like the Azure VMware solution, they can just plug that existing setup directly into the Azure public cloud. It creates this super smooth path to building a powerful hybrid or even a multi-cloud setup without having to tear everything down and start over.
So look, if you take away just one thing from this explainer, let it be this. The whole conversation has shifted. It is no longer about trying to pick the one perfect cloud model. The real goal now, the real challenge, is finding the right tools and the right strategies to manage all of your clouds effectively wherever they happen to live. Which, it leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As all this technology keeps blurring the lines between private, public, hybrid, and multi-cloud, what is the cloud of tomorrow even going to look like? Is it just going to be one giant, intelligent fabric of computing power that's everywhere at once? Definitely something to think about.